Bricks, do you believe in evil? As an idea. Do you believe in the power of darkness? As a superstition. Now there you are wrong. The power of darkness is more than just a superstition. It is a living force which can be tapped at any given moment of the night.
My God. The goat of Mendes. The devil himself.
Christopher Lee as de Richelieu, who knows he must fight the devil's power to the death.
My God.
The Devil's Bride, from bestseller author Dennis Wheatley's The Devil Rides Out, fills the screen with a special kind of visual terror.
On your feet quickly. Back to back. Join hands.
Hey everyone. Welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I have been quite busy, so I do apologize that I haven't been doing this as much. Today I'm going to talk about Dennis Wheatley. Dennis Wheatley is probably one of my favorite horror authors. He was big in Britain, not so much in the United States. His books are kind of hard to come by. But Hammer Horror released like 2 films based off of his books. They released To the Devil Daughter, which ended up putting them into bankruptcy. And then, of course, this is their most famous one, The Devil Rides Out. In the U.S., the name of that film was actually called The Devil's Bride. But, yeah. Anyway, these are really cool fictional books. All having to do with magic, the occult, Dennis Wheatley, one of the things about Dennis Wheatley that I really love is, even though he is a Christian, he brought in a lot of metaphysical ideas. For instance, Christians in America do not believe in reincarnation typically. However, in England, it wasn't unusual to find ones over there that believed in the possibility of reincarnation. This is largely because of exposure to Indian culture. Jerry, you stop it. My cat's making noise, I'm sorry. So the exposure of the British people with Indian culture allowed them to assimilate some of that idea. This book in particular goes into astral travel and kind of the whole idea, honestly, about the separation of the spirit with sleeping, things that a typical Christian would not believe in, especially in the United States. So he was very broad-minded. He also got along with Aleister Crowley, despite Aleister Crowley practicing occult arts that Dennis Wheatley certainly did not agree with, that were kind of black magic. But they sort of had that British good fellow type of thing going on. A lot of his books take place in World War II era. So he would be considered very controversial nowadays. One of the reasons why I think his books are so hard to find is because you stop it. one of the things is, I think some of it's censorship derived, because he he had a tendency to be kind of racist, a lot of his books. So today they're really not marketable given the times. You know, a lot of times black people were villainized as these voodoo priests, you know, that were helping the Nazis and stuff. For example, this is about, you know, voodoo. They have to go to Haiti to kill this guy because he's helping the Nazis with black magic, and, you know. This one was pretty good. So things like that basically would get him censored today. But certainly really great author nevertheless. So, and of course this is a nonfiction book, The Devil and All His Works. Of course he goes into voodoo in kind of a xenophobic way, but I can't really blame him for thinking that voodoo is savage, honestly, because you have to understand, you know, he was born in a time period where, you know, he lived through both world wars. He served in the military in Britain. You know, so one of the reasons why it's such a culture shock to him is he didn't like, you know, the way animals were treated in voodoo, particularly the breaking of the limbs, which I had brought up in the video that I did, Animal Welfare in the Left-Hand Path. But it's a great book that examines different cultures and magic and all that, nevertheless. But the extreme cruel ways in which animals have been sacrificed, you know, really got to him, I think, as well as a lot of British people. You know, like, why is it necessary to break all the limbs of a chicken before killing it, kind of a thing. Cutting off the testicles of pigs and goats before sacrificing them. That kind of thing was considered cruel in his eyes. And the British have always tried to be more animal welfare inclined. So it's just, it was a big culture shock to him. So, yeah. So sacrifices are then offered, refinement of cruelty compared to that which is the black masses civilized proceeding. If it is a pig, they first cut off its testicles, then drink its blood. If it is a goat, it is buffeted and beaten before a deadly slash from the Hungan's magic saber puts it out of its misery. If it's a dog, its ears and tails are first cut off. If there's a pair of chickens or ducks, the bones of the wings and legs are slowly broken before the neck is wrung. So, yeah, he goes into describing how the extremities of animal cruelty within the voodoo culture. But he talks about fairies and various legends and lore, paganism, things like that. So it's a pretty good book. Again, it's hard to find, but yeah, they are quite good, these books. So I highly recommend people watching this check out this movie. Hammer Horror ran into some problems with Dennis Wheatley. He did not like their version of this. In fact, it doesn't really follow the book very well. He thought it was disgusting, lewd. You know, he basically criticized it. And then he died shortly thereafter when they released it in the 70s. But still worth it to check it out, honestly. The book is definitely way better. It's about the I think you call it the homunculi. It's basically like a golem test tube type of baby, where they create a human being basically with magic and alchemy. Aleister Crowley came up with the concept. He believed that it was possible to do that. So basically the character has this woman's spirit kind of attached to this thing that he created. So at that time she kind of becomes possessed and starts acting weird. And they find out it's a Satanist that is trying to merge her with this thing that was created. Aleister Crowley wrote about it in a Moonchild book. So if this type of thing interests you, you might want to pick up his Moonchild book as well. This one is a book that takes place in the Soviet Union period, and it's pretty interesting. There's a album by the band Coven, and you can probably find it on YouTube if you want to listen to it. But it's called Witchcraft Destroys Minds and Reaps Souls. And it is the first ever Black Mass recording on vinyl. And word for word, the Black Mass actually comes from this book. Literally. That's on that album. So he influenced so many occult bands at the time. And so many people have borrowed some of his ideas, certainly in rock bands. Black Widow, for example, has mentioned in some of their songs things straight out of this book. Devil Rides Out. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you.
You will feel his evil. You will see his evil.
If we once catch sight of his face,